Sige.
Okay, so good afternoon again. For now, let's talk about the illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, especially in the Philippine context. So in the Philippines, we have these types of fisheries. And inland capture fisheries. So this is the fishing enclosed in our freshwater areas like lakes, rivers, reservoir, estuaries, as well as fish ponds. The other is we have your aquaculture. Aquaculture involves culturing, raising aquatic species under controlled conditions in freshwater, brackish water, and marine water areas. And the last one, we have marine capture fisheries. It's divided into two. It can either be commercial fishing and municipal fishing. So this topic is very important to be tackled because we cannot live, or we Filipinos are very fond of eating seafood. So with eating seafood, we should always remember how our resources, natural resources, aquatic resources are being managed. So how our food on our table are being managed in its ecosystem. So in marine capture fisheries in the Philippines, it is called as commercial if the catching of fish and seafood with the use of fishing vessels that are more than 3 gross of tons. So you can see, so they are massive and it is called as commercial. Sometimes it is privately owned by a company, by a corporation. And on the other hand, it's your municipal fishing. So this is done within the municipal waters, and the fisher folks natin are using simple gears and vessels. And these fishing methods in our Philippines, we are practicing this traditionally. First, we have the payaos. So this is a fish aggregating device wherein we are going to lure fishes, especially our tuna, into hand lines or fishing nets. The other one is we have your spear fishing. So this is the catching of fish in freshwater or saltwater with the use of a spear. So this spear fishing is very common, a very common practice with the badjao. And these are some of the unique fishing techniques in the Philippines. So slapping the water with a long bamboo, that is to scare the fishes, the other marine animals, so that they can move to the nets of our fisher folks. And we can also have used these bubble traps. So this is for fish pots, and this will be live in the water, and the fish will trap inside. So bubble traps. So illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing happens because of poverty and lack of monitoring system, as well as education to our stakeholders. So we have this, based on the Philippine Fisheries Code, RA 8550, the definition of illegal includes fishing activities conducted by Philippine fishing vessels operating in violation of Philippine laws, regional fisheries management organization resolutions, and laws of other coastal states. So that's illegal fishing. The unreported, unregulated fishing conducted by vessels without nationality but operated by Filipino and or Filipino cooperation. So Philippine flag fishing vessels operating in areas managed by regional fisheries management organization to which the Philippines is not a party to, or the Philippine flag fishing vessels operating in areas or fish stocks where there are no applicable conservation and management measures. So that's unregulated. And when we say unreported, so these are the fishing activities that have been or not have been reported, have been misreported to the department, or the laws are now being violated. So there is no reports, or wrong reports are being submitted. So some examples of your illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. For example, fishing without a license, especially for private companies, failing to report catches or making false reports. So they exceed to the quotas they have, keeping undersized fish, okay, or oversized fish, and fishing in closed areas or during closed seasons, and using prohibited fishing gears, and conducting unauthorized transshipments. So I just have here the data of reports by different agencies like the Philippine Navy, okay, the Philippine National Police Maritime Group, as well as the Department of Agriculture. It just shows you the different reports, okay, from 2016, okay, 2017, 2018, in different agencies. Okay, this is the report about the prevalence of illegal fishing in the Philippines. Also, just to inform you that these are the number of vessels registered with our government institution, our DA and BFAR. So you can see, for example, we have here the region. After the region, you can see the municipal fishing vessels and the commercial fishing vessels. And as the current state of the Philippines as of 2019, so in illegal fishing in the Philippines likely fall within the range of 516 to 766,000 metric tons per year, or 27 to 30% of the country's 2019 marine capture fisheries production. So that's how big we lost in illegal fishing. In unreported, it's about 274,000 to 422,000 metric tons per year of catches from commercial fishing. And these are underreported or not reported to our Department of Agriculture, BFAR. And lastly, unregulated, it's a different one because it differs from different water bodies, from different coastals. Okay, unregulated fishing, this could be done by evaluating our areas or the fish stocks that a certain community is having. Okay, so this IUU, illegal, unreported, unregulated, should be quantified. We must have a data for it in order for improving science and policy actions, as well as to develop certain technical supports to enhance our devices to monitor and for surveillance purposes, as well as to address social equity concerns, and lastly, to increase public awareness and action. So if everyone is being oriented, educated, and communicated with this type of matter, so for themselves, they will have the initiative to monitor, okay, when they are living in some of the water bodies, or they are having their livelihood in some of the water bodies. And these are some of the various methods of illegal fishing. So we can, some use bottom trawling. So this is the use of huge nets weighed down with weighted ballast that gets dragged down the seabed, collecting all of the marine corals, the fishes. Okay, that is just one way. Okay. On the other hand, bycatch. So bycatch, it's an intentional catch of numerous types or numerous species of fishes that are not actually your subject. Okay, they are not your concern. Okay, they are not sometimes for commercial uses. So, blast fishing. So these are the use of the dynamites. Okay, to create very big craters that range from 10 to 20 square meters of the seabed. And ghost fishing. So on the figure, this is an example of ghost fishing wherein the net, okay, the fishing nets are being allowed to stay in the water for a longer time. So that's the marine organisms, okay, will be trapped on that. and that's the result of ghost fishing. So that's deliberate or unintentional leaving of fishing objects in a water body. And cyanide fishing, this is the crashing of cyanide tablets into plastic squirt bottles of water and puffing the concoction or the solution to our coral reefs. That is to disturb, okay, our fishes. Also, that same manner disturbing, okay, of our fishes, juvenile fishes, or distracting our coral reefs is what we call as your muroami. So muroami, there is a movie about here, and that it opens various minds of the people that until now they remember what muroami is. So in muroami, there are encircling nets with a number of pounding tools, rocks, okay, that they're going to attach that, okay, or going to, what do you call this? To pound fish out of coral reefs. So that's muroami. So it's about distracting our coral reefs and disturbing, okay, our fishes. We can also have overfishing. So illegal fishing is not just about the use of different materials or different substances, but also the manner. Okay, it's also about some economic concerns when talking about methods of illegal fishing. So sometimes, okay, or we do overfishing. So this is when the fish are caught and that they cannot be naturally reproduced by the remaining population. So that is overfishing. But overfishing, okay, can be what do you call this? Can be allotted, okay, or can be utilized for having large population of invasive species, okay? And another, maybe the use of poisonous substances, okay, as well as keeping the undersized or oversized fish. So in the Philippines, we have the Philippine Fishers Code of 1998. Okay, it's all about the Philippine Fishers Code, and you can see the different sections, okay, touching different prohibitions in regards to our aquatic resources. So, for example, it is being prohibited, okay, the use of muroami, okay, the coral exploitation, okay, illegal use of super light, and so on. However, it should be an, what do you call this? An effort with the stakeholders and the environment to have some reports if they observe some inappropriate behaviors on the water bodies. So although we have this kind of laws and it is not that bad, okay, our laws are profound, but the practice, the monitoring, the observance are not being practiced. So I just want to share you, this is IUU Fishing Index. And this index, it provides a measurement to the degree to which a state are exposed to and effectively combat IUU fishing concerns. So you can see that the Philippines, okay, it has 2.71, 1 being the best and 5 being the worst. So in this IUU Fishing Index, we can see that the Philippines is fighting, okay, that we are, our government are working on our, for our aquatic resources. Okay, so thank you so much for listening and I hope you learned something.